We have a super strong connection here. Right. Oh my God! Hello, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Oh, let me just, I've even put my watch on yet. Yep, what? Me watch on, let yuck. Oh, that's going to be a good start to today, isn't it? Right, I've apparently lost the ability to talk. Anywho, right, first of all, let's get this out the way before the comments start. Yes, my nails are atrocious. Look at the state. Look at those. Look at those nails. Oh my God. Look at her nails. Not my butt. Don't look at my butt, but look at my nails. I mean, you can look at my butt if you like, but there ain't one. Anyway, look at the state of the nails. I know. Let's just now we've acknowledged it, we're moving past. I'm not making any excuses or anything else. That's just how it is. Anyway, good morning if you are here. Good afternoon if you are here. Good evening if you are here from different time zones. It is just gone midday here in the UK. I don't know whether you can hear. I've got a little bit of a croaky throat, but that's fine. It's probably because I've only been up for about maybe an hour. It's been a slow start to the day. I've got a really poorly hip, a really poorly hip, really poorly. It's like an old lady hip I'm dealing with today, which is just part of the lovely world of fibro. Anywho, what are we going to talk about today? So I've had to clear the desk off because I was filming in here, filming. I know, right? Are you shocked? Are you shocked? I know. I have been filming something for this channel, all to do with tarot, actually. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. Right, but it does mean I've got things that are not in the right place. So then we'll bring the cards, bring the action. Oh, no, I can't use that deck because I'm in the middle of using it for something else. Right. Okay, so we've got 2 decks on the go today. In fact, I'm probably just going to stick to my current favorite, the vice versa deck. The vice versa deck is absolutely amazing. Caffeinating is a thing. It is Ed. So we've got Ed, Nanette, and Holland. Yes, good morning, Nanette. Good morning, my darling. So yeah, we've got a few people on the stream so far. I'm finding all of the streaming being really quite fun, actually. I really like it. Oh, it's fun. I does enjoy it. I does. Yeah, I'm actually really enjoying this sort of three times a week schedule. Thursdays are going to be a bit fluid for a while, purely and simply because my schedule is subject to change. I know, right? Oh, hang on. Oh, it's magic. It's magic. So I've got a huge problem. a spooky thing. Well, it wasn't a spooky thing. It was an error happened today, and I am distraught. I am distraught. She is distraught. She is shocked. She is shooketh. She is distraught. She is, oh my God. It's an instant coffee. That's fine. I'm used to instant coffee. I broke my coffee pot. I broke my coffee pot. Boo, boo, boo. Yeah, I broke it. So backstory. I've got I think 3 or 4 little Alexa Flexes, right? Little Alexa Echo things around the flat, because it helps me manage my ADHD. I've got things. Good morning to Patricia. Good morning to Hector. So I've got Alexa all over the flat, right? By the way, Alexa, play music. If yours has just started doing that, that's funny. Sorry. I'm just imagining watching this on replay like 3 weeks down the line, and suddenly you've got random music playing. Anyway, it makes me giggle. So I normally set the coffee pot up the night before, right? Set my coffee in it, put the water in it, get everything ready. Everything is good to go. I then come in, I do my morning routine schedule thing, and she tells me what what appointments I've got on the schedule, what the weather's going to do, the news headlines, all of that. And she starts the coffee pot. So today she did that, but I'd forgotten to fill it with water. So the little glass thingy, poury thingy, jug thing, that normally, the little glass thingy that normally has coffee in it, shattered. Well, it didn't shatter, but it broke. A little piece came out of it. A little piece about this big. This coffee pot took me so long to find, because it's got to be a manual on-off switch, like a light switch, a click, for it to work with Alexa. And oh my God, it's broken already. I've only had it like 3 months, if that. So yeah, so I need to go and find another one now, which is going to be an absolute nightmare, because I've only got this coffee. Oh, I'm so distraught. Oh, I'm going to cry. Disgusting. It is disgusting. But anyway, never mind. Thankfully, we've got instant coffee, and I've got a cafetiere if need be. So, it's not disastrous, but there was a little moment where I was just like, oh, great. That's it. That is it. My world will never be the same again, because Alexa can't make me my morning coffee in the morning. I know, right? First world problems. Anyway. I know, I'm absolutely distraught. Yeah, really? That's a very good point. Patricia makes a very good point. Very good point. You cannot cope with disembodied voices talking to you. Got enough voices around without buying one. Yeah, that is a very good point. I have also broken my Alexa. Hang on. Oh God, I'll tell you the story. Hang on a second. Hang on. I just need a slurp of coffee. So, how did Lisa inadvertently break my Amazon and my Alexa? Well, I decided, because of privacy concerns, I decided that I was going to delete all of the recorded information that Amazon holds on me, all the bits where you say, in my case, it's computer, but normally you say, Amazon, bloody, blah. So you do that, right? So normally, that's what I would do. So I managed to delete it all. But when I say all, I mean literally all of the recorded information about my voice that Amazon has ever had, I deleted. Which means she doesn't recognize any of my voice commands anymore. Which means if I want the lights on, or like say if we're watching telly, we go computer, TV time, and she turns the main light down, turns the reptiles lights off, so that we've got a nice, like, it's a nice darker room to watch telly. None of that works. Morning routines don't work. Security lockdown when she turns the CCTV cameras on when we go out, that doesn't work. So none of it is currently working. So I have to basically go through that teething problem of teaching the bloody computer how I say things and what I say and how to actually listen to me. I've got to go through it all again. And then this morning, the other reason that I was all discombobulated is because my printer has just decided not to work either. So I'm trying to print off. I've got some letters to print off that I need to send. I've got other bits and pieces that I need just to print, and it just isn't wanting to do things. So yeah. So that's going to be the rest of my day, sorting all of that out. Anyway, right, not that any of you care about that. So let's crack on with some tarot reading, shall we? So we've got lots of people here on the stream. That would freak you out, something doing those things. No, it's amazing, Patricia. It's like living in Star Trek. It is like living in Star Trek world, because you literally just go, computer, what's the weather today? And she says, oh, the weather's going to be this. And you go, computer, lights on. Computer, skinks on, which is our reptiles. We've got some blue tongue skinks, so they've got a separate command. I've even got a slow cooker. So yesterday we were at the warehouse most of the day, and in the afternoon I had the slow cooker come on and start cooking our curry that was all prepared, sat there, because I told the computer, the Alexa, to actually get ready and start cooking it at a set time. And then from outside of the house, I was able to have a look and see whether she had actually turned it on, and could see that the plug was on, and so that the slow cooker was on. How cool is that? It is the future. It is amazeballs. Amazing. Yeah, I know. Holland's very true. She doesn't just do things. You've got to set it all up in advance, and then you program certain keywords that do these things here, and all of this that does this. So there's triggers. So she doesn't just randomly start doing things. The only thing she randomly does is, I've got a routine set so that when the dogs bark, there's like classical music plays really quietly in the background, so it calms them down. So if we're out, whether we're just at the shops or whatever we're doing, if the dog goes woof, then off triggers the music. Not that any of you care about any of this, I know, right? First world problems. Anyway, let's get on with some tarot readings today, shall we? Let's crack on with some tarot readings. But I tell you what, it is a kind of magic when you've got Alexa. It's like being a wizard, Harry, or living in Star Trek in my instance. Right. Anyway, you only use Alexa for turning on your lights. Wow. Alexa, turn on the bedroom light. Alexa, flash the bedroom light. Alexa, turn off the bedroom light. Alexa, turn on the bedroom light. Alexa, lights on. Sorry, Internet. I'm just envisaging you're probably in a whole other room and your Alexa's just flashing the lights on and off like you're in a disco. Oh dear. Anyway, right, enough of all of that, everybody. I'm just imagining everybody's lights flashing. Oh dear. Silly things make me smile. Anyway, you got to have a laugh, don't you? You've got to have a laugh. Right. Sorry, Holland. This is why I've changed it. So mine isn't called Alexa. She's called something else. So in my case, it's computer. I wish you could change the name of it, because you could call it anything, couldn't you? You could be like, oi, fuckface, turn me lights on. Oh dear. Oh dear. Right, let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. Patricia's freaking out. Oh gosh. Right, okay, I've got some questions in already. I can see people are raising questions in the chat. I will get to those in a bit. Let me just go way back. Metaphysics. I like that. I like that spelling of that name. Well done. That's really cool. Cast a circle, call down the goddess, and coffee. There's no magic without the coffee. Absolutely 100% damn true. Damn true. That was the first magic in the universe, when they discovered coffee. Good evening good morning, I should say. Good afternoon. Oh God, Jesus. Good afternoon to Ma. I've got your question in on the list. If you want a question, do pop your question into the doodah. Put your question into the live chat with the word question, followed by, indeed, your question. That's what you need to do. Hector, I've got your question in. Good afternoon to you. Eliza, good afternoon to Eliza. Here we go. Oh, I've got your question in. Saturn's Lux. Oh, Saturn is Lux. Sorry, I can't read today. Oh dear. I know, that is it. That is it. You can't change it to lots of different things, mainly because it has to have specific trigger words. But anyway, yes, I think you should be able to call her what you want. You say, you know, hello, Angel Gabriel. No. But hello, I was going to say Megatron. That's Transformers. Meta. When the angel that speaks for God is a robot. Metatron. That's what I was trying to say. I am so sorry. My coffee has not started yet. It has not kicked in yet. So you are getting full, unadulterated ADHD in full flow, Lisa, right now. But anyway, enjoy it. What was that? Holy angel that speaks for the Lord, tell us thine commands. Transform and roll out. Oh dear, I really do need to do something where Metatron and Megatron get swapped. Anyway, right, let's serious business, Lisa. You're a professional bloody tarot reader. Right, enough of this. Let's start, shall we? Let's start the actual tarot. So then, everybody, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever in the world you are coming in from, whatever your time zone is. Hello and welcome to today's coffee afternoon, coffee hour, coffee streaming, coffee. We are going to be starting some tarot reading in about 3 or 4 minutes. So you've got time. If you would like a reading, pop your question into the live chat, as it says all the way down here, starting with the word question. I will then pick that up and add it onto the list. Now, just because, oh, excuse me. Now, this is really important, and we need to just bear this in mind, okay? Just because, good evening from India. Purnima Sharma, hello, my darling. Welcome to you. What time is it where you are, my darling? So just because a reading is given to me, a question is given to me, does not mean I'm going to have time to do that reading, and does not mean that that is going to be necessarily the order that the readings go in. I will try and keep to that order as much as I can, but if you are wanting to, you are able to QJUMP. If you just go across to buymeacoffee.com/beyond authentic, you can QJUMP. You can just buy me a coffee over there. It can be the cheapest one, it can be the most expensive one, it doesn't matter. For the purposes of QJumping, you can just do that. I am going to set up a little thingy that says QJUMP, where you can purchase that over there for like £3, so it's the cheapest option, but the option is there for you. Right then, so that is all being said. I've got to say, by the way, tarot is for entertainment purposes only. You do make all of the decisions about your own life. Tarot should never be used to replace medical advice, legal advice, counseling advice, or financial advice. If you're looking for support in those areas, please do seek out professional assistance. I am not a professional at anything. I'm definitely not a professional YouTuber. Definitely not. But absolutely, please do go across and seek out professional help first. As I always say, if you fall over and break your arm and you've got a bone, there you go, there's my arm, sticking out your arm, there's a bone sticking out like this, don't just go and call your tarot reader. Don't go and grab your crystals. Don't go and get some magical, lovely herbs. Go to the hospital, get them to repair it, stick the bone back together, stitch up the wound, put it in a cast, do all that stuff, and then get your questions. Then do that. So then, all of that being said, I've got your question in, Purnima. It's 17:48 there. Wow. So you are 5 hours ahead. No, 5.5 hours ahead of us. Oh, interesting. Rushi Kumar is here. Good afternoon to Rushi. So then, everybody, that's all the main rules. You've got to be 18 years or over to get a tarot reading. And also, don't forget, this is all being spread. What? This is all being streamed live on the YouTube. So you can tell it's live because I would normally edit out all of this like chaosness in my brain. But we can't do that on a live stream. So we're all just gonna have to ride this train together, the chaos train. Oh, I need a chaos train button. I need a chaos train. I need a choo-choo. I really do need a chaos train button. Anyway, so yes. Because this is streaming on YouTube, even if I delete the question right now, right? Even if I do that, even if I delete this stream as soon as it's finished, this is still being on the internet, which means there are bots and there are services. This will be recorded somewhere for the rest of time. So if you do not want your personal information spread around on the internet, perhaps in a few weeks, months, or years down the line, when, you know, whatever we discussed today is no longer relevant, do please bear in mind that this is being streamed. So if you would like a private reading, you can go across to buymeacoffee.com/Beyond Authentic. The I in authentic is the number 1. Go across there and you can book a reading over there. So there we go. That is everything that I need to say in advance. We've got some questions in. We've got some viewers in. We are all set to go. The dragons are ready. I'll explain about the dragons in just a second. But yes, let's crack on. Before we do, I've got a quick word from one of our wonderful supporters on this channel. Yes, indeed. Blue Chalice Arts, they are in the chat right now. They are a wonderful human being called Holland, and they are the person behind, the creative mind behind Blue Chalice over on Etsy. Search for that. There is some amazing items over there. Jewelry, witch bells, lots of lovely witchy type themed stuff. So if that floats your boat, tickles your pickle, go across and have a look at that on the Etsy. Just search for Blue Chalice. Right then, everybody, let's have a little look-see. And when I say they were supportive of the channel, we're not sponsored to do that, by the way. It's just a little way of saying thank you very much to somebody who's volunteered to be a moderator here, and also somebody whose work I really, really, really like. And so, yeah, go over and check that out. We should be supporting more small creators. We really should. Small YouTubers, small Etsy creators, small shop people that run all of these creative things. We should support those as much as we support big giants like Amazon. Anyway, right, there we go. So all of that being said, let's crack on with the readings. So let's have a look at who is up first. There we go. So the first question I've got in is from Ma. If you are here, please come along into the live chat. Come and say hello. If you've asked a question, please do stick around until I get to your question, or until we get to the end of the stream today. It's going to end at about 1:30, so just over an hour's time today, because I do have appointments. Next week is probably going to be a little bit later in the schedule. I don't know how this fits for me. I don't know how it fits for the mods. We'll have to check this out. Thursdays might be a little bit fluid, but yes. Right there, Ma is here. You're here from Sweden. Fantastic. What time is it that you are here from? What time is it in Sweden? What time is it? Let me know, because I'm curious. I am very curious. So then let's have a little bit look. Oh, yes. So that needs to be pointed out, Holland. Thank you very much for that. If you are anywhere else in the rest of the world, unfortunately, the Royal Mail, the main postal service here in the UK, has had a cyber attack recently, which means they are not accepting international mail. So basically, our little island is becoming even more of a little island. We are turning insular, and we are looking more within, and it's getting a little bit scary, to be fair, a little bit scary. But basically what that means is, if you are wanting to purchase something from Blue Chalice Arts, you can purchase it, but there's no postage happening at the moment. So if you're happy to wait, I'm sure that Holland will accept an order, but if you are happy to wait for the postage until the Royal Mail sort this out, I know that Neil from Necronomicon Zine, he's in the same position where he's got orders that are just sat there waiting to be posted because they can't, the Royal Mail is not accepting international post. And so once that opens up again, then I'm sure the orders will get sent. So if you are international and you're wanting an order, just bear that in mind. It's best to message Holland over at, on Etsy at Blue Chalice. Just double check whether they're taking orders and then can post them when they go straight out, or whether they're going to hold them. So just double check that because of the Royal Mail systems. Right then, now all that's been said, let's crack on with the readings. So everybody, Ma, I've got your question in, where is it? Oh, I'm on the wrong buttons. Right then, so Ma, your question starts right now. Let's crack on with the tarot. So then, Ma, I've got your question up. Let's have a look. You're asking, does A think about me? Let's have a look at the question, the cards then. So, dragons. Ma would like to know, does A think about me? So, good afternoon, dragons. If you don't know what I'm talking about with dragons, I use elemental energies to work with the tarot cards. It's just the way that I work with them. Different ones of those entities have different vibes, different feelings, so they match with the elements. I have 5 different elements that I work with, the 5 different elements of life, and basically those kind of appear, or those are understood as dragons. We've nicknamed them on this channel. The main one we get with the tarot, excuse me, my coffee is now repeating on me. The main one we get on the tarot is Wispy, who is the air elemental. Now, if you know anything about air elementals, you'll understand that air elementals are all to do with the thought, the mind, intuition, things like that, all of those wonderful light and fluffy cloudy type things. And we always describe Wispy as the luck dragon from Neverending Story, Falcor, but made of smoke and wisps of steam and ether. So if you imagine that, that's basically the main dragon that we see on this channel, but there are others, and each of the dragons, even now, they have their own theme tunes. I know, right? We're so extra on this channel. But Wispy is the main one that we have. So good afternoon to Wispy. We're going to crack on, Wispy. So we are wanting to have some readings. So Ma is wanting to know, does A think about me? So let's have a little look-see. So that's Wispy's theme, the wind chime. So then, dragons, Wispy particularly, does A think about Ma? Let's have a look. So if you're wondering, for the witchcrafty things, I do smudge this room before I even come in, before I sit down. Mainly, I have to do it before I sit down, because if I do it when I'm sat here, I get this smudge spray in my coffee, and nobody wants oils in their coffee. So that's why we do that. Right, so you've got no modifier today, Ma. So it's just going to be the cards that come up. Let's have a look. It's going. Oh, there we go. It's fallen. Right. So does A think about you? Let's have a look. Past, present, future. Let's have a look at what we've got. So then, the first reading today. Interesting. Right. So straight off the bat, let's have a look. We've got the Tower coming up in the recent past. Now, the Tower is a major arcana card, so it is an important card. Now, the Tower is really interesting for me because it talks about masks. It talks about things that you have built up and things that are sort of ideas and things that you've kind of created that aren't necessarily entirely authentic. So you can see here we've got this tower that has been struck by lightning, and these 2 figures are jumping out of the tower in flames to their doom or to their rescue. They're jumping into the water at the bottom. But this is from an all-seeing eye, so there is something here, right? Now, what I would say is that this card, when you're talking about if this is a relationship, or if this is some kind of like a personal relationship, like a, or if this is more of a friendship, whatever the connection is, it feels like it was based on some sort of, I will say falsehoods. It was based on a lie. It's based on something where it isn't quite authentic. It isn't quite 100% there. Now, basically what I'm saying, the reason I'm saying for that is because the Tower is all about, look, if I show it the other way around, you can see this card, we've got the mask and we've got the Tower is actually hollow. It isn't a full tower. It's all for show. It's all for appearance. And basically this is like that thing when you build your house on quicksand, it's going to fall. Like, it might look lovely out there on the beach on its own, I think that's where quicksand is. Anyway, but eventually it will fall, it will collapse, because it isn't real. And this is what this is talking about. So the relationship with A, it may well have been built up. It may well have felt like it was this solid construct, but actually in the heart of it, it wasn't real, and it's come crashing down, and led to some major implications afterwards. So I would say there's been a massive change recently, whether that is that you've split up, whether that is that you're no longer talking, or whether that is that you've had this sort of short, sharp shock, as my dad would have said. I can never say that properly. I always get the words in mixed up, but a short, sharp like that, a short, sharp shock, where things are sort of suddenly being revealed not to be what you thought they were. Anyway, the current position we've got the 7 of Cups. So if this is a romantic relationship, then you've got this element where you have you've currently got this feeling of, it's not so much loss, right? But I think, because this, you're asking specifically about what does MA feel about you, I think that MA has moved on and is looking at other opportunities, because the 7 is talking about gifts, maybe stuck a little bit, maybe a little bit kind of in between, feeling a bit bad about the way the relationship ended. But I would say, and I do think, I do absolutely think that this is a romantic relationship that ended abruptly, put it that way. I absolutely think that. I don't think, I mean, again, I'll have a look in on the comments in a second. I do think that this went a bit tits up really badly, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? And I get the impression it's romantic, because I also get the impression that they've moved on to something or someone else, or several someones, because the question is, does A think about you? This is your present. We've got the 7. These are multiple options here, possibly seen as gifts, but I think there are multiple options, and they are just basically, I don't know whether they're playing the field. I don't know whether they are out and about doing bits and pieces, but there is definitely something here where they have got lots of options. And to be honest with you, there's nothing here saying that you are necessarily one of those options. You could be one of the things that they're thinking about from a romantic, from an emotional perspective, but I don't think you're like the key on their mind anymore. So I don't think this is something where it's like they're pining after you and they're like, oh, longing for you, yearning for you. I don't think it's that situation. In fact, when we move to the future energy that you two share, I think it's just now, it's literally, look, let sleeping dogs lie. I think this is, for me, Swords is all about obstacles, challenges, and the hump in the road, as they say, the little pothole that we have to traverse. And the Swords here, the issues are still there. They're always going to be there, but it feels like, you know, for the two of you involved, I think it's time to just, you know, he's sleeping on it. Like literally, he's sleeping on it. He's like, it's over. He's napping. He doesn't have to worry about it. This is not an act. There's my microphone cover. That was interesting. It doesn't normally do that. But yeah, like he doesn't have to do anything. I think it's time for him just to, you know, he's just done. He's over it. And I don't think there's anything here where he's going to suddenly wake up and go, oh, suddenly I'm not an old man asleep napping. I need to wake up and go over and chase chase Mark. I don't think that's going to happen at all, my darling. But yes, so you ask a very specific question. Hopefully that helps. My gut is telling me that it's a romantic connection. My gut is telling me that whether he was or A was, I'm assuming A's gender. Likewise, I'm assuming your gender. Apologies. If you're male and A is female, or if A is male and you're male, or if A is female and you're female, or if either of you are non-binary, however you identify, right? My gut feeling is that there was a relationship between the two of you. It kind of ended badly. I think that the other person was the person in the wrong. Either they were cheating or they went off and did their own thing. Just gut feeling the way that tower fell. The 7 of Cups is really talking about them being able to move on and have lots of new opportunities. And then finally that Swords, yeah, I don't think they're coming back. I think they're they've got their own stuff to deal with now, put it that way, Ma. And with that, my darling, I hope that that helps. I really do. I hope that helps. Right then, let me have a look in the, can I put it on the comments? Where's the buttons? There we go. No, that doesn't help. Right, there we go. Click on the live. There we go. Thank you. No problem. Oh, hang on. There you go. No problem at all, Ma. Musical. What music? I've got, oh, Holland, I've got a sound. So hang on. I forgot you weren't here on the other stream. It's a love connection that ended a while ago. There we go. Yeah. So there we go. Look at that. Well done, dragons. Thank you for giving me that. They were giving me this like romantic-y feeling, but it was like, ugh. Started nice and then but yeah, so thank you for that, dragons. That's confirmation. Thank you for the confirmation, Ma. I had that music all queued up. I've got this now, Holland. Look, I've got this wonderful magic button. So this is my stream deck, and all these buttons do various things. So I can like turn that on, and I can end the stream, and I could like that and do all sorts of other things. But I've also got these buttons where I can go, and things like that. And I've got a different screen with transformers on it and all sorts. I've got like, if you're getting jiggy with it. So yes, it's very cool. I love it very much. So be prepared for lots of sound effects in the background today of today's stream. Right, back to it. Let's have a look at Queen of Sheba. I've got your question in. Let's have a look at the next reading then. So who have I got up next? Here we go. I'm going to go to Ekta Joshi. Ekta Joshi, if you're here on the live, come and say hello on the live stream. Candy Cat Jules, hi, my darling. If you're wanting to ask a question, just pop your question into the live chat, starting with the word question, and I will get to you as soon as I can. Risha Rathi, hello, my darling. Do I have your question even in? Let me just have a look. I haven't got your question in. Let me go back and see if I can find it in the doodah. Yep. Okay, my darling, you are here. Fantastic. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to go and see where. Oh, I've got your question right there. So your question is the last one that's been asked. So you are pretty much at the bottom of the list, unfortunately, my darling, but I will get to people as soon as I can, and I will get to you as soon as we have as soon as I'm able to, basically. Right, so then let's have a look. So if you are wanting to, by the way, you can go across to buymeacoffee.com/Beyond Authentic. You can buy me a coffee there, which will basically get you a QJUMP function, which means your reading would be the next one. So if you're wanting to do that, please do take advantage of that now that it is available. So then, Ekta, let's have a look at your question. Where is it? There we go. So then I've got your reading. So will I be able to clear my exams in 2023? So a work-related question. Let's have a look for you, my darling. So, right, I'm going to hit my magic. Sorry, everything's a little bit, there's a few little, I think my mouse needs recalibrating. You know, when I'm expecting it to be here and I'm moving the mouse, and instead of it's not quite doing that, it's like over here. So it's like it's not quite in the right place. Anyway, you don't need to worry about my tech issues. Right then, I'll be doing your reading straight after this. So then, let's have a look. Dragons, Ekta Joshi would like to know, will they be able to clear their exams and to have a career in 2023? So this year. So then I've got to say, the only thing I tend to see is up to 6 weeks or so into the future. We don't tend to go much further on this, purely and simply because the future is not written yet. So we've only got the energies that we can work with that are around us right now, have just come in on just or have just gone out, or are just coming in, if that makes sense. So any tarot reader, any psychic that says that they can see details of a year ahead or anything down the line, no, it's not true. Basically, the further you get away from now, the vaguer everything gets, because there's so many options. So basically, if you imagine like a funnel, where you are right now, all of these opportunities are being funneled into this one point. But right now, it feels like there's not a lot of options, is there? But you're coming from this massive open field, which is like 3 years away. Because you could do anything in 3 years' time. You know what I mean? You could start a whole new course today, start studying something, and qualify in 3 years' time. So there's lots of things that can happen. You could start a relationship right now, end up with babies in 3 years' time, you know, and divorced. There's so many things that happen, that funnel, that option is so wide that it's impossible to see which of these options are there until we get a little bit more narrowed down. If you look like where my wrists are, that's kind of the point where we can see it. Everything else is just there's too much information, there's too many choices. So I will have a look for you, my darling, and I will see what the cards will say for what we've got coming up, certainly in the next 6 weeks, and what we can get a gist of after that. So then let's have a look. So dragons, what is likely to come up in the next few weeks for Hector, and what is going to happen in terms of career and exams? Right then, let's do your drop. So you haven't got a modifying card today. There we go. Where are you going? Is that it? It wasn't sure, was it? It was like a little bit of a drop and then a little bit extra. Right, let me just put those off. So then let's have a look. We've got the security or interest. Right, okay. Oh, we've got a world. Right, okay. So your past energy, the energy that takes you up to now, right? There's lots of opportunities here. Hang on, let me just check on the comments. You've got lots and lots and lots of opportunities here, which is really good, to be honest. It shows that there is a Candy Cat Jaws. I've got your question in. It shows that basically you've got, hang on, what do you say, Hector? You so want your career to get settled by June, July of this year and get a job. Well, let's have a look. So basically this is talking about there being lots of opportunities recently. So whether that means that you've applied for a lot of jobs in the last, this is the last 6 weeks. So whether you've been applying for a lot of things, whether you've been taking on lots more opportunities, whether you've been looking at things in a slightly different way, this has come up recently in a much bigger way than it was before, if that makes sense. So the world is talking about opportunities. It's literally saying the world is your lobster. Is that the right saying? The world is your oyster. The world is your sea crustacean, whatever it is. You've got basically the amount of opportunity you've got at the moment is huge, absolutely humongous. You've just got to decide where you want to go and head in that direction, because the thing about the world is it can be really daunting. If you've got so much choice, quite often it paralyzes us, so we can't actually make those decisions. We can't actually start anything and make anything happening. So yeah, it's a really difficult option in some cases, because that amount of choice can paralyze us. Does that make sense? So I do think there's been a lot of new options opening up for you recently, but it's not necessarily options that you can take right now. Does that make sense? But let's have a look at why I'm saying that. I'm saying that because in the present we've got the 6 of Wands. Now this card this is how it's often seen in the tarot. So you see this figure on horseback, and it's a kind of a standardized image, if you like, but this way round you can see that this figure that this way is rallying the troops and yay, lots of community support. This way round, look, it's taken its toll. There are wounds here. These people, this is not the first battle these people have been involved in. This has been going on for a while. Wands for me is talking about your security, your sense of confidence, your sense of self. And I think there's a lot here that has, I think it's been a bit of a slog. You're talking about career and exams. I think it's been a bit of a slog for you. It's been a bit of a hard journey to get through this. And I don't think you're coming out of this, like the exams and the job search, I don't think you're coming out the same person you went in, put it that way. And I think you feel quite almost beaten down, if that makes sense, kind of quite like low energy at the moment because of the amount of effort and work. And it's funny because I was talking about a reading, I don't know when it was, but recently for somebody, and I was saying it's that thing of, you know, when you focus everything on one point, once you get to that point, what happens afterwards? You know what I mean? So you're working really flat out to get to the exams, to get everything done. Once you've done that, then what? Like, what is the focus then? Where do you go? And because we tend to set our focus on a very specific thing, a key moment. It's like, once we get to that, then what do we do? And it feels very much like that's where you are now. I don't think the exams are going to be an issue. I think because the world has come up, I think you've done everything you already can. I think you've studied your backside off, and I think this opportunity is going to be there. It's just, this is like what happens after you've done the exams. Like once everything is done, once you've got results, what happens then? And I think this is what's telling. I think you need to find a way to build your confidence before going back into the job search market, before going into that. I think you really need to have this, give yourself a bit of a break, because it really does feel like this has been a long old slog for you. Now in the future position, we've got the Knight of Wands. Now look, this is one side of the card and this is the other. Now this is not necessarily a bad thing, but I think this is a little bit of a warning for you, Hector, because what this is saying is, look, so the Knights for me, Wands again is security and confidence. Knights are talking about that sort of slightly more rebellious energy, that slightly teenage energy of doing things anyway. And there's an element here where it kind of feels like you're heading down something that isn't entirely suited to you, and it feels almost like you're looking for a job in a particular area, in a particular field or a particular company or something, because that's what's expected rather than that's what you necessarily want to do. And you're heading down that direction because that's what you're supposed to do. However, it isn't a natural fit for you. And this is where the Knight comes in. And this is where this does not feel like it's a happy journey. Does that make sense? It feels like it's a trek. It feels very arduous. What's the Lord of the Rings, where they have to take the ring and, I don't know because I've never really watched it, but they take the ring and they burn it in a fire or something, or in a volcano somewhere. And it's all about the journey. This is that. This feels like this journey that you're going on, or that you're headed down for career wise. It feels like it's going to be a pretty, like you've gone from working your backside off and absolutely knackered to even more like work and stuff. There has to be some sort of balance here, Hector. You have to be able to go, right, actually, I don't want to go and do this job that I'm going to hate, and I know I'm going to hate, but because I've done this exam, that's kind of the only option, because you've got these other options here. You know what I mean? Just because you've got a degree in, I don't know, art history, right? That doesn't mean that you have to go and work in an art museum looking at paintings all day long. It would open you up to working in lots of creative arts, because you understand how you know art works. You could go and work in lots of different fields with an art history degree that isn't just working in a gallery looking at old paintings. You know what I mean? There's lots of things like this. There's lots of different skills, and so I think your focus is really on something that isn't necessarily fulfilling your heart in terms of career, and I think that's going to be a difficulty coming up. Dragons, I know we're tight on time, Dragons, but I want to do one more card for Hector. I'm just going to do one drop. We want one card that is a piece of advice on which way to head career wise, because Hector's really going to be having a bit of a tough year. So we know it's not going to be the Six of Cups, because that's the one on top. This is why I cover them up. So let's just have a look at the drop. It's going to go again. Oh, almost fell over. Is that it? No, it's going. There you go. There we go. That's it. Is that it? That's the drop. Right. Okay. So we've got 10 of Wands. Wow. 3 wand cards. Right. Okay. This is really significant, Hector. So this is really saying that your heart is not, like, not your heart's not in it, but you are not confident about this path that you're on. You really are uncertain at the moment. You're really not sure that this is the right one for you. Reason I'm saying that is because we've got 3 of the wand cards coming up, but the advice is to basically not be scared to move on, not be scared to take what you've got and what you are confident in and to transfer that into something else. So say, for example, you've got this art history thing, but the thing that you really enjoyed when you were studying it wasn't necessarily, you know, the pretty pictures and, you know, this is Renaissance and this is whatever, like Impressionist movement. It wasn't all of that that got you excited. It was the historical research element of it. So you can take that skill that you learned here and transfer it over here. So actually, yes, you could have a degree in art history. I don't know why I keep banging on about this, but you could have a degree in art history, and actually the thing that's really inspired you is actually digging through and finding that information out and actually doing the research. And so you'd end up, you know, as a research assistant for a law firm, for example, completely different field, but it's absolutely digging through that information and finding what's necessary was the thing that floated your boat. And this is what this is talking about. It's talking about being able to take your confidence, kind of pack it up, put it on your shoulders and be able to move with it, take it somewhere. And that is something that I think the cards are really saying, look, if there's a career aspect here, that because the world is at your opportunities, don't feel that you have to go down this one route. Like, you have these skills, you have this transferable mindset, this transferable skills that you can move on to something else, and maybe look at that as an option for you. And with that, my darling, I'm going to say thank you very much for your question, and I am going to move on. But thank you so much, my darling. I hope that helps. And yeah, that is your reading for today. Let me have a little look in the chat then. Let's have a look. Nanette, you're asking about Witch Casket. To be honest, I don't know. I don't know how Witch Casket is doing it. They might not use Royal Mail. They might use one of the other postal services, because there's like every and what's it called? UPS, is it? And DPD, no, DPS. There's like there's other parcel services in the UK that they can use. So maybe that's what they're doing, because I do know with Witch Casket, I think you pay £29 in the UK, and I think it's 36 to America. So there's a built-in up increase there to cover international costs. But yeah, have a look on their website, which is witchcasket.co.uk. I know that because I'm literally looking at the box that's just over there. Anyway, right, let's have a look at the next question. So who else have we got in? Eliza, are you here, my darling? Come and say hello in the live chat if you're still here, Eliza. Do please hang around, everybody. If you are waiting for a reading, do please hang around. You can always go to donate at buymeacoffee.com/beyond authentic, where you can in fact buy me a coffee that will get you a QJUMP, and that will basically mean that you are able to do just that. You are able to QJUMP. If you do that, just let me know in the comments in the live chat that you've taken that option, and I will confirm that on the back end. Right then, let's have a look. So Eliza is here. Fantastic. Hopefully, my darling. Oh, hang on. What did Hector say? You're doing exams for chartered accountants. Oh, that sounds interesting. It does sound interesting. The one thing I would say though is just make sure that your heart is absolutely in it career-wise. But also, accountancy doesn't mean you have to just go in like, you know, you could work for the tax people. You could go and work for a small company. Like you can go and work for some giant thing like Google or Amazon or somewhere, like, you know, doing big accounting work. Or you could go and work for, I don't know what a chartered accountant does. Look at me being completely naive. But there'll be other opportunities, you know what I mean? So don't feel that just because you've got this exam that you have to go down that one route, is all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. You're looking for a small carved box to put the divination stones in, Patricia. That's really interesting. Yeah, they are beautiful, aren't they? Oh, I guess yours has turned up now then. Yay. Right then, let's have a look. Oh, thank you, my darling. Oh, I need to screenshot this. Hang on. Can I screenshot when I'm actually on a live screen? Oh, I can. Oh, yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's the nicest thing that anyone's ever done for me. Yeah, we've got 6 people in the queue. Thank you very much, Holland. We've got Paul, Nima, Rushi, Queen of Sheba, Risha, Candy Cat, and Aniket, all in the queue at the moment. So then, Eliza, we're going to do your reading straight after. Oh, hang on. I haven't cleared the blooming message off the screen, have I? There we go. I'm going to do your reading straight after this little 7-second spacer. By the way, if you're wondering why I have these little gaps, these little stingers, spacers in between readings, it's because if you want to go back and rewatch this, you can jump to those moments where those appear on screen. But also, it's when I take a slurp of my drink, because I have misophonia, and so basically the sound of mouth noises drives me absolutely up the wall. It is the most horrific, torturous sound for me, and basically I would not want to impose that on anybody else, is how it works. So yes, so if you ever wonder why I have to do that, that is the reason. So Eliza wants to know, dragons. Good evening, good afternoon, dragons. Eliza would like to know, may I know the next action of R towards you this month? Right then, so Eliza wants to know in February, what is R going to do towards them? What is going to happen? What's R's actions? Very specifically, in terms of Eliza, what is likely to be on the cards? So then let's have a look. No card jumping. So then, dragons, we'll do the drop. Hang on. Oh, gosh. That was my hand. Hang on a second. Sorry, Eliza. Sometimes it's the cards and sometimes it's me. There we go. We dropped. We done? We're done. Right then, let's have a look. So what are their feelings towards you? Oh. We ran the gamut of emotions then, didn't we? 2 seconds flat. Look at that. So we've got the Empress, my favorite card in the entire tarot deck. Eventually, I'm going to find an Empress that I love, and I'm going to have it tattooed. So the Empress is all about abundance, loving, warm, nurturing energies, but she's in the past. So it feels very much like the relationship was maybe in a better place than it is now. Maybe I've got the weirdest feeling of what's it called, sepia tones. Right now, what do I mean by sepia tones? You know, that sort of slightly brown tan kind of old photos where they were in that sepia color, and sometimes like old film footage and that is in that slightly worn tan coffee brown sort of color where it's a bit like insipid. That's what I've got when this card first jumped up. As soon as I looked at it, it was like an overlay on an editing screen of sepia. Now, those of you that do photo editing and things like that will understand what I mean by that. But what that means for me is that this is very looking through 2020 hindsight, but through rose-tinted glasses. Does that make sense? So it's looking at the past in a way that maybe the relationship in the past was wonderful and abundant and nurturing and great, or maybe it wasn't quite as much as you thought it was, and that actually, like, the memory of how you've got to here is actually a little bit nicer than the reality of how you got to here. Does that make sense, Eliza? The reason I'm saying that is purely and simply, there's nothing to do with the card. It's just the minute this card popped up, it was like this brown overlay that kind of, it just gave me that feeling of, this is nostalgia. It's that sort of feeling, you know, when you look at things with, I think, do they call it nostalgia goggles? So yeah, that makes sense. Fantastic. So yeah, but it does feel like it was a very warm relationship, or it feels very warm when you think about it. Now, in the present situation, we've got the King of Pentacles. Interesting, we've got 2 thrones here, and these 2 characters look kind of almost as if they're equals, don't they? Look, you've got the wand, the staff here, what's it called, the scepter that the Empress has, and the crown, and you've got this orb and scepter here and the crown. But if you look quite closely, the Empress doesn't have all the bells and whistles. She's got this stone throne. She knows who she is. She's very confident here. Whereas the King of Pentacles, yes, he may look quite as confident, but if you look closely, the throne is not as impressive. It's not as suited. It almost looks like he's making up for something, doesn't it? It almost looks like, you know, yes, he's a king, but she's the mother-loving Empress. You know what I mean? She's beyond a king. And so it feels very much like maybe there's something here with R. Maybe there's a little element here of jealousy or a little bit of one-upmanship. Maybe R doesn't feel that they're quite on your level, or is trying to make you feel like they're your equal when actually they themselves don't necessarily feel it. Does that make sense, Eliza? It feels very much like there's a little bit of falsehood here. Now, there's also, I've got to say, the Pentacles is all about money, career, finances. Now, the Empress does represent abundance, but the abundance here is talking about a very loving and fluffy kind of abundance. This is, yes, she's got money, but she's going to spend it and she's going to donate it and she's going to look after the people around her. This King of Pentacles has the money and wants to keep it for himself. So yes, it's a similar, but quite a different vibe, if that makes sense. Quite a different vibe. And then we move on to the future card, which is the Tower again. We've got the Tower again. So you're asking, what's their action towards you? This is coming up in the future. I think that things are going to get revealed. Like whatever this feeling is that I'm getting with this King of Pence, it's going to be revealed soon. So the true feelings are going to be revealed. The true, their true, yeah, their true feelings, how they honestly feel and how they honestly respond. And it might be something that you're not necessarily going to like. So I don't know whether you're in a current relationship. It feels almost like this is in the past and that you're not currently together, because this Tower, again, this is a slightly different version of the Tower because of the change in the reading. So this is more about that kind of, you know, that belief in the relationship. When you think about it, it's this nostalgia thing again. There's something that was happening that looking back you weren't aware of, but it's going to get revealed. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So it's almost like it's almost like when you think about the relationship in the past, it's like, ah, that was all lovely. If only I had known then what I know now, I wouldn't have done X, Y, Z. It's like everything was really lovely until it wasn't. And when it wasn't, things went bad. And it almost feels like you're still in this, it wasn't everything lovely, and this until it wasn't hasn't quite hit yet. So it does feel like there's going to be a truth, an unveiling, and a looking behind the mask coming up in February. So yeah, be prepared for that, Eliza. You're asking what R's actions are towards you. I think there's going to be a truth revealed, possibly even some sort of shock moment, where it's almost like a soap opera moment where the truth is going to get revealed and it's going to be like, ah! You know what I mean? Where everybody's suddenly going to be like, oh my God, all this time. And yeah, so just bear that in mind. I'm not sure what this is, but it's big because we've got two major arcana cards, past and future, and in between we've got this element of the King of Pentacles that is not sitting comfortably with me. Like this version of the card, it's still a little bit, you know, there's still all the king and there's still like the throne isn't as posh as it looks on the front and all of this, but even so, this is not a comfortable card for me, and I don't know why. So yeah, just bear that in mind. But there's definitely going to be some sort of reveal of, you know, ulterior motives, put it that way, ulterior motives. And maybe something was happening. Again, I'm assuming that you were in a relationship. That's just what it feels like. And again, if it feels like there's going to be a reveal of all that time that you were together, XYZ was happening. You know what I mean? And with that, my darling, I hope that helps in some way. Let me just have a look at the comments. There we go. Dreams are going to go down in flames. Absolutely, absolutely, Patricia. Yeah. in the past he's hiding something, not necessarily, but it's almost like, it's like if he says, oh, you know, oh yeah, he then, yeah. So like if he says, I don't know, for instance, right, you say, oh, you know, I want to get married in 3 years time or in 2 years time, and you know, I want to have some kids and I want all of this, and he's been saying that in a relationship, for example, and then it actually turns out that he's had a vasectomy and he doesn't want kids, you know what I mean? There's like that. Or you know, he's sort of saying, you know, well, you know, once I get this new job and we're able to, you know, we'll buy the house and we'll move in and we'll do all of this, and it's kind of like leading you down a path that he himself knows isn't quite going to happen, but at the time it's like, oh, and we were going to do this and we were going to do that, and you know, maybe we were going to do the other, and as soon as it kind of all gets revealed that actually, you know, there wasn't that intention all the way through, that's when it colors the memory, if that makes sense. It's like up until you get that reveal, you can only go by what you feel and what you know. Once you know new information, it changes how you feel about the past. Hopefully, my darling, that makes sense. But that is going to be your reading today. And again, thank you, Eliza, for your thank you for your question. Right then, I'm going to move swiftly on now. Thank you very much. I'm going to move swiftly on to let me actually have pardon me. Right, I just want to clarify something. Risha and Aniket in the live. Risha Rafi, you're asking a question about Aniket Shukla. And we've got an Aniket in the live stream as well. Can I just confirm, is the person that you're referring to, is that the same person that's in the live? If so, we've got a conflict. So Aniket, are you Aniket Shukla? If so, can you let me know, because there's a conflict. I've got two questions in. One person's asking about a very specific name, and I've got somebody with that name in the live, and it's not a name that is common to me and to this channel. So let me just have a little look-see. So yeah, Risha Rafi and Aniket, if you're both here on the live, just confirm that you're here, my darlings. And while we wait for that, I'm going to move on to Candy Cat Jules. Candy Cat Jules, if you're here on the live, can you come and say hello? Oh, I know, Patricia's lovely. She says, good luck, Eliza, stay safe. Absolutely. He keeps promising that didn't happen. Oh, something happened in the past. Yep, something happened that wasn't entirely true. Yeah, something, don't know what it is, but something definitely happened. Pornima, no, I'll get to you as soon as I can. We go through people in not just necessarily the order that the questions came in, so I will get to you, my darling. I'm jumping to Candy Cat Jules, and I'm trying to clarify this issue with Risha and Aniket, because it may well be that I can't do their reading, so I'm just trying to get through that. So yeah, right, Candy Cat Jules, you're here. I will get to you. Physics. Have you got a question in? I felt like you asked a question, but I don't have it on my list. Do I? No, I don't. So yeah, right. It looks like Annika and Risha have both left the stream anyway, so that resolves that issue, I guess. Right. Okay, Candy Cat Jaws. Let's have a little look. See, so dragons, we've got Candy Cat Jaws in the chat. We're going to get to their reading straight after this 7-second spacer. What will your cards say indeed, Candy Cat Jules? Let's have a look. So your question is, did the man I'm worried about do anything evil to me? Right, let's have a look in the live. You're just watching Metaphysics. Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Let me have a look. Luke. Right. So I always, when I'm reading, I come off the live chat screen. So literally the only thing I can see in front of me, she says, just moving position because Oh, my hip is really bad today. The tramadol's not kicked in yet either. Did the man you're worried about do anything evil to me? Right, let's ask the dragons. So then, dragons, Candy Cat Jaws would like to know, did the person that they're worried about do anything evil? So was there any evil intentions, malintent, any bad juju, any you know, negativity overtly sent towards Candy Cat Jaws? That's what we want to know. Let's have a look. So then, we've got no clarifying cards this afternoon. I don't know whether Wispy's like half asleep, but normally we do get cards that jump, or maybe the cards are very clear. I don't know. I will say though, I am loving this deck at the moment. Got one more. This is the last turn round. There we go. The last turn round, the last sort of bit of the shuffle as well. I call them turn rounds. I don't know why. Right then, let's do your drop. But I'm loving this deck at the moment. It's really insightful. It's going again. There we go. Is there another? Is there another? Yes. Oh gosh, almost fell over. Is that it? Yep. It looks like, I don't know whether you've noticed, everybody, but today's drops, it seems every single time we're doing a 3 drop. Now that's just interesting to me, but we don't have clarifying cards, but the dragons are dropping the cards in a particular way, which is really interesting. Anyway, right. So did the person that you're worried about do anything evil? Bear with me just 1 second. It's not, hang on. Oh, sorry, I just had to burp. Sorry. That was nothing to do with the reading. I've drunk my coffee and now I'm drinking some Rockstar energy drink. And it's just repeated on me. Oh, it's very gassy. Right. Not overtly would be the answer, but I don't think they've actively done or sent anything your way, but they don't have pleasant thoughts about you. Put it that way. Reason I'm saying that. Right. 2 of Swords. This is in the past position. So I don't know whether you were in a relationship or whether you were friends that fell out. It feels quite a personal connection that's gone awry. The 2 of Swords for me is always quite a card about either close friends that have had a falling out, or partners that have had a falling out, or even it can be family members that have had a falling out. You know, like myself and my own sibling no longer really communicate, largely because they just know is really the answer. But what that does mean is actually that, you know, for me, this would come up if we were looking at a relationship reading about me and my sibling. It doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic connection or anything else. So the person you're thinking about, the man you're thinking about, I think you were close and things ended really personally. And it felt like it was a proper, like, good against evil, like good guy, bad guy kind of battle, almost like Star Wars with, you know, the 2 lightsabers. The reason I'm saying that, look, we've got these 2 swords, one's glowing blue, one's glowing red, represents fire and water energy. In this instance, fire and water do not mix. This isn't just like, this is me with my coffee pot this morning making it blow up, you know what I mean? This is not that wonderful connected energy. This is a lot of turmoil in the past, a lot of really strong clashing. Now, the only reason you get that strong clashing, like if there's somebody you pass in the street, you don't normally, like, you might think, oh, I don't like the look of that person, or, oh, you know, that doesn't look like somebody I'd want to cross. You don't, if it's a random stranger, you don't get an instant, you know, a random stranger is not your nemesis. You don't get an instant hatred there. But this feels very like there was a personal connection that went really off the rails, and they are acting out at the moment. So I don't think that they are doing anything evil to you, but I do think they're acting out. I do think that they are I don't, put it this way, I don't think that they are a bad evil magician casting you negative spells, right? I don't think that. However, they might not be wishing you any good feeling, and they might be under their breath going, oh God, I really wish Candy Cat Jaws would just, you know, God, I wish they'd lose their job, or I wish they'd have a car accident, or I wish they'd do, you know what I mean, under your breath. It's not necessarily something that you're doing consciously, but you know, sometimes when you think about someone that you've had an argument with in the past, you're like, oh God, I wish they'd just shut up and die. You don't necessarily mean that. It's just something you say. So it's not an active like working against you, but I do think there is this animosity there. The Knight of Swords in the present, this is that fire energy. No, it's not. No, it's not fire energy. This is that air energy, which is interesting, because when I normally associate air energy with that really like light and fluffy clouds and things. But the thing about the light and fluffy clouds, look, they can very quickly become dark and thunderous. This way round, it would have been a lot lighter, because we've got the birds in the background, the sun's coming up, everything's a bit like, oh, a new day. This feels still very dark, very in the middle of battle, and I think that this person has got a bee in their bonnet about you. I don't think they're necessarily working against you, but there's definitely a bee in their bonnet. Now in the future, this person is this guy is gonna fall off a cliff. No, that isn't what the card means. The Fool is talking about a new journey. They're going to go on a bit of a journey for themselves, but there is going to be some discovery that person comes to. Now, whether that is just an awakening of actually whatever they think you did, however they think you wronged them, wasn't actually as bad, or just that they themselves were in the wrong with the situation. There is going to be this journey of discovery for them, and I think it's something that, you know, don't dismiss this. Don't dismiss the fact that they are in their own world, they're going on their own journey. So this is the quote, right? There is a quote that I heard or read at one point, and which is that nobody thinks they are the villain of their own story. Right. So if you imagine, take Maleficent, right? The evil witch from Sleeping Beauty, right? In Sleeping Beauty, she is the evil villain. In Maleficent, you see that she's actually, there's nuance here, and she's actually not evil. There's reasons for her actions, and it paints her in a different picture. So in her own story, Maleficent is not the villain. Likewise, I think this man that you're thinking about, in his story, in his headcanon, he is not the villain here. He is not the bad one. He is not the person that is actively like, I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog too. He's not doing that. But he is going on his own journey. And I think that that's something just to bear in mind, Candy Cat Jaws. And there is going to be this awakening within the next few weeks, where he may well realize what he's been doing, or he may well realize, like, there's going to be this golden light of enlightenment, this dawn of enlightenment. And I think that's something that you're going to have to just bear in mind, because I don't think that his actions towards you are necessarily going to change. I don't think that there's going to be this moment where they wake up and suddenly it's like, oh, shucks, I didn't mean to be a villain all along. Scrooge. Like, there's not going to be this moment where they wake up and say, you there, small boy, what day is it? Why, it's Christmas Day, Mr. Scrooge. Right, get yourself over to the butcher's in Town Street and get me the largest turkey, and then deliver it over to this family. It's not going to be that moment, right? There isn't that awakening isn't coming up, but there is going to be a slow realization of the truth. And with that, Candy Cat Jaws, I will leave it with you, my darling, and say thank you very much for your question. And I hope that helps in some way. Right, I am seeing by my screen that I've got 16 comments have come in. So I don't know what that is. Let me just have a little look-see. Right, okay. He was a tarot reader here on YouTube, offered help, but it seems suspicious. Yeah, don't listen. If there are tarot readers on YouTube, right, if they are offering to take bad spells off you and undo the evil eye and what else, anything like that, right, anybody's offering to do that, it is, you know, don't get me wrong, I have been involved in doing things like that for people. I have been involved in helping people get rid of jinns, I guess, if you want to put it that way, bad entities that latch onto them, and bad negative sort of things that attach. I've been involved in doing things like that in the past. And it's something I still do. If people ask me, I still do try and help there with things like that where I can. And it's something which, again, a bit like the tarot readings on this channel, right? There has to be an energy exchange. That is something that I believe very firmly with all of these things. There has to be an energy exchange, but that doesn't necessarily have to be financial. At this point in my channel, right, that energy exchange is you hitting the subscribe button, dinging your bell. That is the energy exchange. If you want to go across to buy me a coffee and donate, you can do. If you want to QJUMP there, you can do. If you want to go over and join the memberships, you can do. If you want to go over and, you know, sign up and on the top tier and get monthly readings and all of this stuff, you can go over and do all of that. That's entirely your prerogative, and I thank those of you that do it. It's amazing. And again, I try and make sure that it's value and all of that, because I believe in an energy exchange. But the only energy exchange that is required on this channel is you hitting the subscribe button and dinging your bell. That's the only energy exchange. Everything else is optional. If you want to book me as a private reading, then yes, there is a fee involved. You can go across to Fiverr and all of that because you're paying for my time. Here, while we're streaming, you're not booking me as an individual reader. You're booking me as a YouTube reader, and you're booking me as somebody who is doing this on a channel. And, you know, it's a 5-10 minute reading that you are getting whilst I'm looking at other things and doing other things and looking at comments and all of that. And so you're not getting my one-to-one undivided attention. You're getting as much of it as I can possibly do whilst also streaming. But so the energy exchange is different, right? So if there's somebody on YouTube or somebody anywhere, and this is why I've stopped streaming on Facebook temporarily, is because there's a lot of people that will jump on and basically say, like they'll say, Candy Cat Jaws, drop me a message because I am drawn to your question. I think there's negative energy around you. Somebody that you've upset is working at you, and they've sent you spells, and they've sent you evil energy your way, and you need to do this. And if you pay me $700 per day for the next 17 years, I will make sure that this energy is taken off you. And if you don't do that, if you don't pay that, then I will add to this energy and I'll make things worse. Listen, they're scamming you, my darling. They are scamming you. Anybody who ever says, I am drawn to your message, like don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I look at the readings and the messages that come in, the questions that come in, and there are some that I am drawn to more than others. This one particular, I was like, oh, there's something here. I need to look at this question. The question I got with Risha and Aniket, where there's a question between the two of them. Again, it flagged up for me, and I was like, oh, there's something here I need to address. And I've done it. I've walked into a pub once and basically gone up to someone and said, I'm really sorry, but I've got a message from you from the other side, and I don't know where this is coming from, but I need to tell you this, right? I haven't gone up to someone and say, I've got a message for you from the other side. Please give me £100 and then I'll tell you the message. No. If somebody is drawn to you and is drawn that you need some help and they are offering your help, right? That offer, if it's unsolicited, yeah, that, it should be free. Like they should say, look, there's some bad boot juju around you. If you want, I mean, you shouldn't be doing that as an ethical reader anyway, but you know, there should be a way that you can go to somebody and say, look, I've got a feeling there's some negative energy around you right now. If you want to clear it, this is how you can do it. You like sprinkle some salt around your doorways. And whether you believe in witchcraft and magic or not, you know, say some prayers, say some magic words, like some ritual words, do some of this, do some of that, light this candle, you know, put a pot of herbs in the front of your doorway. This is what I would be saying to you. This is the advice I would say, right? And then if you've done all of that, and then you're wanting to say, actually, Lisa, you know, I do believe there is some active black magic against me. I don't use that term. I hate it. But there is like some active negative magic, some bad juju towards me. Can you help me cleanse it? Can you help me lift it? I've done these things. I'm asking you to do a ritual to do this, to break this spell. At that point, it becomes you're asking me to do something for you specifically. It's a whole different thing, right? So if somebody on YouTube is wanting to help you, be prepared if they are wanting to help you empty your bank account. That's all I'm going to say. Candy Cat Jules, because there's a lot of that on this channel, on this platform. I'm not on this channel, on this platform. There's a lot of people that will offer an awful lot of things and tell you that it's really vital that you do this, that, and the other, and all they want to do is get your money, right? I will tell you, absolutely, yes, I have been paid in the past to take spells off people and to break things like that, but there is always a process there, and there is always something that I will tell you what I'm doing. I will film what I'm doing. I will go through that process. There are things that you have to do yourself. There's a whole process. It isn't just a case of pay me $2,000 and I will do something in the background. It is never, ever, ever that. So yeah, just be aware. Buyer beware is basically what I'm trying to say, Candy Cat. So yeah, if they are saying that they're going to send you negative juju, then do the things I just said. Put some salt around your door. If you've got a property, say, I don't know, say if you've got a flat, right? Quick bit of advice. Say if you've got a flat, sprinkle salt all the way around. So say, right, this is your property, right? This is your house. If you've got, if it's just one house on its own, sprinkle salt all the way around, right? If you can't do that, say if this is a block of flats, then sprinkle it. If you've got a doorway here and a doorway here that you go in and out of the block, sprinkle some salt there, sprinkle some salt here. In your personal front door, sprinkle some salt there. And yeah, like as you're sprinkling the salt, just say, this salt is protective. This salt is protecting me. You can, if you are witchy inclined, you can throw up a circle. You can put some markings on. I use this pentacle shape an awful lot in the circle. So I will sometimes draw it on my front door as I leave the house. And I will literally draw this like this as I'm doing now. And I would draw it 3 times. It's a bit like Sheldon in Big Bang Theory. And I will say, with this pentagram, I lay protection here both night and day, and the one who should not touch, let his fingers burn and itch. And it's just a way of stopping that negative energy coming through my front door, if that makes sense. And I do that. I have salt around my windows at times. I will refresh that every few weeks, months, whatever, as needed. And I put all that in place. So yeah, there you go. Take that with whatever it is. I don't know whether any of that helps. I went right off on a tangent. I do apologize. But yes, hopefully that helps. I'm sure that Patricia can help in the doodah, if that makes sense. I'm sure that Patricia can help in the chat if there's anything else that you need to do. Right, we are rapidly going to be, yes, Holland, this, absolutely this. Somebody's put a curse on you and only I can break it. No, and only if you pay me hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds. And quite often it doesn't start. It doesn't start with hundreds of pounds. They'll be like, oh, just send me this. Just send me this. Just send me this. And it gets bigger every time. And oh, I tried this and it didn't work. Oh, you've still got some bad juju. Right, let me try this again. And now I need to go and buy this sacred herb that is only grown on a mountain in the Himalayas and has to be handpicked by a virgin riding a donkey which is wearing a red robe, and it is and the woman can only be called Rebecca, and she's got to be under 27 years of age but over 24 years of age. And no, it's all BS, all BS, all BS, all BS. Have a look on my channel. There's lots of witchcrafty videos on there, and there will be more coming this year as well. Right, so what time are we on? We're on nearly 1:30. I'm going to try and go through a little bit later because I know I've just waffled an awful lot on that reading. But again, this is the thing, right? This is the absolute thing. So I was completely drawn. I was drawn to your question, Candy Cat Jules. Send me £2 million. Send me $1 bajillion. No, I was drawn to your question because as soon as it came up on my little list that I've got here, it just, I was like, oh, what's this? Without even reading the question, it was like, oh, I need to look at this, right? Because this information is important. It needs to be out there in the universe. That's why the dragons are bringing it to my attention. And so, yeah, that is basically, that is that. So anyway, I hope that helps. Right. Purnima Sharma, please come through in the live chat. Come and say hello in the live chat. I will do you next, and then I will try and get to Risha and Aniket if I can. Rushi, I do have your question in. Queen of Sheba, I've got your question in as well. I will try and get to you if I possibly can. We are running low. Oh, hang on. Why have I not got... Why are the comments not got up? Yes, there we go. I've got it. Thank you, Holland. Yes, lots. Has anyone ever told me that I need to pay them to get a curse off? Yes. What did I do? I told them to go F themselves. I once got accosted. Oh, story time. I once got accosted in the street by somebody who said, do you want to buy some Lucky Heather? And I said, no, thank you. And she said, oh, then I curse you, I hex you, I curse, I place a curse upon you. And I was like, look, love. And I literally went, no, stop 1 second. And I went, look at my tattoos. And I had these two at the time. And I said, look at my tattoos. I said, I'm a fucking witch. I said, don't mess. I said, because trust me, it will rebound you. I said, before you even say the words come out of your mouth, I said, trust me, my wards are very strong. I said, if you aim that at me, it will rebound on you. I said, so if you have any belief in that at all, if you're not just scamming, I said, if you have any belief in it at all, trust me, it will come back to you. And my dragons will make sure it comes back to you in a lot worse way. And so she shut up at that point. And she literally shut up at that point and walked away, muttering under her breath. And I was like, don't even start with me, bitch. Don't even start with me. You try and hex me, you'll get it worse. Because I do have, I mean, literally, just even on this desk, right? Even on this desk, I have a mirror sat here. This isn't a beauty mirror. You can see, look how manky this mirror is. This isn't a beauty mirror. This isn't designed here to, like, when I need to do my lipstick, because I've got big mirrors that do that, right? This little mirror is sat here on my desk next to the computer because it is part of a working that I have in place to protect myself and my household when I'm here live on the interwebs, because we do have trolls on the interwebs, as we all know. We have trolls. As a trans woman on the internet, there's a lot of trolls. I am an easy target. As somebody who has witchcraft in the title of their channel, I am an easy target. So because of all of that, I have protection in place. I have my smudge sprays that I use. I have, you know, there are crystals and things around me. I've got all sorts of bits and pieces literally out of shot that you can't see. My altar is behind me. I am as protected as it's possible to be right here in this moment. So that's all I'm saying, right? If you are involved in any which way, which, if you're involved in any way in the witchy community, in the magical community, practice defensive magic, practice protection magic, practice having those wards, having that protection in place, and replace it often. That is what I will say, right? Because it is important. It's important just to protect yourself in the same way that you might have house insurance to protect in case there's a flood. If you live in a particular area where you're prone to floods, then it's the same thing. Have that protection in place, have that insurance in place. But yeah, it has happened a few times. And I do get people messaging, mainly though, they message on Facebook and say, oh, you know, oh, I'm drawn to this, that, and the other. And oh, you've got there is some bad juju happening, and oh, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, that absolutely does happen. So yes, right then, that is anyway, I'm going to move forward now. We're going to do some more readings because I'm waffling, but anyway, thank you for the question. But yeah, do get it does you yes, I'll have some Lucky Heather. Give me your palm and I'll read it for you. A green man next to your door. See, I knew you were witchy, Ed. I do you in it, witchy. Hirok, we haven't got time for your question today, I'm afraid, my darling. We just don't. We are rapidly running out of time. I've got half an hour left. I'm probably going to get to 2 or 3 more readings, and then that will be it. Didn't know that, which is why I wanted to put my rosemary plant by your front door. Yeah, rosemary's a great herb. Rosemary is wonderful. We've got rosemary growing just got a front door, just to one side of the front door, but it's basically growing in an area where, again, witchy information, right? So again, let me get my magic little, oh gosh, Stop knocking everything over, Lisa, to try and show something. Right. So we've got a bit where you walk through, like you've got a, what's it called? What's it called? What's it called? What's it called? It's called a thing. There's a word for it. I can't remember what it is, but a path. God. A path, right, that goes right. So this, if this is the corner of our flat, there's a path that goes like this. Right, this is our garden, this is the path to the garden, and like sheds over here somewhere. The rosemary is just here, and there's a reason for that, because it's protecting this element of the path and then this element of the garden. So it literally, you can have it, our front door's like here, so you can have it right in front of your front door, but you can also have it just around it, because the energy from the plants, the herbs, all this protective stuff, it isn't just around like, oh, it's only here in this little tiny area. No, it protects this whole zone. So I've normally got rosemary here, I've got other herbs that are planted here, we've got hanging baskets outside the window where again I've got other herbs and things, flowers and all sorts of bits and pieces that grow, that a lot of those are protective. And I've got crystals in my hanging basket pot. There you go. You can always bung a quartz crystal or rose quartz or something in there to help as well. Right then, Pornima, your question, should I message? Oh God, now you get, now look at this, right? Pronunciation is not my good thing. Should I message Akyut Apadaye? Apudye? Akyut, is that right? Am I saying that vaguely right? Or when he'll message you. So you want to know, will Akyut message you or should you message him? Right, that's basically your question, isn't it? Akyut. Right then, so let's have a little look. So then, if, yes, look, Patricia's saying, if you're doing candle magic, if you're lighting a candle for witchcraft purposes or protective purposes, put the candle on a mirrored surface. And it doesn't have to be a mirror. You could just go and get some tin foil and cover a saucer. It doesn't have to cost you money. Like literally a tin foil, cover a saucer. Or if you've got something, hang on, look at this. I wasn't expecting a show and tell. If you've got like a metal goblet, right? So a metal goblet like this, it's not silver, it's just a metal goblet. But look at the base of it. I mean, all right, it needs a bit of a clean, but I could clean that off, and that is reflective. And if you put your candle just on there, a few drops of wax, stained your candle on there, that is reflective. So all of this energy is being rebounded back. So if you're doing a protection working, all of anything that negative is coming through will get reversed. It will get sent back. Now, there is all sorts of argument I've seen. And in fact, I'm going to cover this on the podcast. We're going to do a podcast on ethics at some point. My little boards keep falling over, so I'm going to move them now. I'm going to do a podcast on ethics at some point, because it's a really interesting question. Should you, as magicians, should we use mirrors to send energy back? And yeah, that's a good question, and an ethical question, because the argument would be, on the one side, you're only rebounding what somebody is sending to you, but on the other side, if you are rebounding that energy back, are you then part of the problem? Are you then, you know, just by sending that back, are you part of the problem? So yes, there's a question. But anyway, that is not for today. That is for a future episode. So dragons, there we go. Should Panima message Akyut, or will Akyut message? Right, if you notice, that card did just drop. So we've got a card drop. So we've got a modifying card. Interesting, it's the sun. Now the sun's about new energy, so it can also be about children. Just saying. If I show it there, look, so it's about new energy. Quite often with the sun, it's about growth. So I think that for some reason, that element rather than child energy is coming through for me. It's talking much more about growth. So then let's have a look. So if I do cut the cards, so we'll cut the deck. In fact, I tell you what, how about this? There you go. Look, that's a good idea, Lisa. Just thought about that. When I have a card drop, so I don't get influenced by what the cards are underneath, I can put that one on top, because we know what that card is. Right then, so here's your drop. So is that it? Have we got a 2? Is it going again? Oh, it's gone again. Gone again, right? Okie dokie. So there we go. So this is the one on top. We've got your modifying card here, and let's have a look. Jesus, the third time. Oh, and the second time. What is going on? Thank you, dragons. Wow, we're on a theme today, aren't we? Look at this. Look at this. We've got, I love the fact that we've sparked a whole debate in the live chat about karma and, as Metaphysics says, karmic participation. Ooh, interesting. I know, right? There's going to be a whole podcast about this at some point. Should you message Achiet, or when will he message you, or will he message you? Right, should you message at all? Let's have a look. Four of Swords in the previous energy. I think everything kind of went a bit rubbish between you. I think, judging by your question, this is probably a romantic situation that you were in, or at least a close friendship that you were in. But it does feel, look, things went bad. The Four of Swords. So Four of Swords is for me trouble and strife, obstacles, challenges. And I think this was a quite a bad situation, but I think it happened over time. It's like, it's not like things went horrendous. It's not, oh, so let's say it's not the tower. No, because the tower's there, Lisa. It's not this moment where things were great and then they suddenly weren't. It's like things went bad over time, and things kind of went a bit wrong over time, and things were just left then. Things never kind of got back on an even keel. And basically, what this is saying is that literally, look, you can see these fires burning in the background. Everything is in flames, but this central figure is just too knackered dealing with their own issues to actually to worry about it. So they're not concerned. The swords are all here. They are representative of issues and things that you are dealing with. And I think that, yes, there is quite a lot going on in the past with the two of you, but I think it ran its course, and over the last part of the relationship, maybe the last couple of months, things kind of soured, and then once things were soured, they weren't able to get sweet again, if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. Now we've got the four again, fours. So 2 4s, what does that represent for me? It would represent 4 months, 4 weeks. The fact that we've got 4s coming up a fair bit is really interesting. So the only 2 cards from the minor arcana are 4s. So does this mean 4 years, 4 months, 4 weeks? Or is this the 4th month? So January, February, March, April. Was this April last year? Is this April this year? Question. Was this 4 months ago, which takes us to January, December, November, October. So between October and now, maybe something's happened. But anyway, we've got the 4 of Pentacles in your present. Now, Pentacles is money and work, but also it's a card. Look, if I show it this way up, it's about looking through, trying to find answers. This way up, you're not looking for the answers. You're not looking for the answers. Like, there have been problems and things. This way you are focused, but not necessarily focused on the right things. So you're saying, should you message Achia, or when will he message you? Do you even want to? Like, is this actually something that you want to do? Do you want this person in your life? It feels very much that they are quite work focused, because Pentacles is coins, money, coins, money, finances. But also look at this card. They are staring off at these towers in the distance. They are not involved. They are just basically, are they meditating? Are they sat waiting? What is going on with this person? Why are they just sat here inactive when there are opportunities and things for them to do? What is actually going on? So why is there some inactivity going on in this relationship? Why are you not messaging him? Why are they not messaging you? Why is this not happening already, would be the question. It feels like because things soured and things ended. Now we've got in the future position, we've got the Tower, but it's reversed from what came up earlier. So this is really interesting, because again, look, the Tower's been struck, but this time round, we can see the Tower was never real. Like here, oh, I built everything up and everything's collapsing. It was never real. It was a mask. There's a mask literally on the Tower. But also, if you look, it's hollow. It's not even completed. It's all a facade. It's like a stage, I want to say a rim, but it's not a rim. It's like a stage, a scrim, so basically, it's a curtain that comes down that is see-through, and if you light it from if you light it from one way, it's see-through, and if you light it from the other, it looks like whatever you've painted on it, you can see. So they use it in theatre to like do scene transitions and things. Holland will be able to say in the live chat what it actually is called. I can't remember. Scrim, something like that. But basically there is this, so there is a feel, one view, so it looks a certain way under, like, so look, looks a certain way, and then when you see behind the scenes, it's actually fake. So it's like going to the theatre and seeing a house. They haven't built a house on stage at all in any way, shape or form, but what they have done is a facade, and that is what this is talking about. And I think this facade is going to come crumbling down in the near future. Reason I'm saying that is because the tower is coming up right in your immediate future energy. But when you're asking about whether you should message them or they should message you, this growth card is really important here, because I think that, like, this facade of this energy is going to show itself, right? That is going to be revealed. You are going to realize what this means and what happened, and it's going to lead to this growth. So I think you are growing beyond them. Does that make sense, Purnima? I think whatever has happened, it feels like your paths have diverged, and so you're going down this path, growing into like whole new energy, whereas it feels like actually may well be a bit stagnant here, and that the energy isn't moving forward in quite the same way. Hopefully that makes sense, my darling. I really do hope that that makes sense. And yeah, I hope that helps in some way. But that is going to be your reading for today. Thank you so much for the question. Thank you so much for being here on the channel, and hopefully let us know how things go in the next few weeks. But it does not feel like there's going to be messaging either way, to be brutally honest. So then, right, let's have a look. I'm just looking back in the chat. Yeah, hopefully that helps, Purnima. But that is Purnima. Oh gosh, I can't read on the screen. Purnima, yeah, hopefully that helps, my darling. But thank you very much for your question. Right. Okay, let me just have a wee look. I just need to check something. Oh, sorry everyone, just bear with me 1 second. Right. Okie dokie. Right. I've got one more question here. I think I've got time for one more question. I'm going to try and get to Risha. Well, I'm going to try and answer yours, and Aniket, I'm going to try and answer yours. So if you're here on the live chat, do please come and say hello. We have to cut off at 2 o'clock, purely and simply because I've got an appointment at 3 and I need to get ready, get out of the house and get off to my appointment. So Risha, if you're here live, come and say hello. Aniket, come and say hello if you're here live. I will get to your readings as soon as I can. I'm going to try and get through both of them. Queen of Sheba, Rushi, please come in on the next stream and I will get to yours. So yeah, I will get to both of yours on the next stream. Hopefully that will be on Sunday evening, 7 p.m. UK time. So Rushi and Queen of Sheba, I will add you onto the jump list for Sunday. So whatever time you come in, I'll make sure that we get to you on Sunday. Okay, my darling. So yeah, just come and say hello. Oh, I see there's an interesting debate going on in the live chat. Right, Aniket, hello, my darling. So I will get to you. It looks like Risha has gone. So Aniket, here we go. Sanika's current feelings, and should I contact her, or would she do currently no contact situation? Right, okay. So then let's have a look in the chat. Not in the chat. Dragons, I meant let's have a look with the dragons. Dragons, Aniket would like to know Sanika's current feelings, and should Aniket contact her, or would she prefer no contact? So what should Aniket do? Should Aniket contact Sanika? And what is Sanika's feelings towards Aniket? So let's have a look at that for you. Right then. Dragons, we're going to do that right now. So what is Senika's current feelings towards Aniket? That's what we want to know, Dragons. What is Senika's current feelings towards Saniket? And should Saniket go over and try and message and reach out and make contact, or is it better just to leave sleeping dogs lie? Is it best just to leave things be? Let's have a look then. Let's have a look. It feels very much that this is a romantical situation. We've had a card jump. Oh, God. Wow. Right. Okay. Instantly. No. Aniket, look, we've got the 10 of Swords coming up. Instantly. What's their feelings towards you? And should you contact her? No. Whatever's gone on, there's a hell of a lot of obstacles, challenges, and just ill feeling here. Look, so from one side you can see, from here, look at this figure, absolutely stabbed through time and time and time and time and time and time and time again. Hirok, I haven't got time to answer your question. This is going to be probably the last reading today. And I've just realized right, there we go. So that was the card that fell. So I need to do your drop. I was about to shuffle. I just placed one lot on top, so I've just reversed that, and then this is going to be your drop. Is that going to be your drop? That's your drop, right? Okay. So then, what is the energy between you and Sanika? Right, let's have a look. Right, okay. Okay. So then, we've got the Two of Swords. It's come up again. So again, I think there's an absolute falling out between the two of you. I think there's an absolute way that you are, how can I put it? An absolute way that you two are just, you've disconnected. There's been arguments or some kind of upheaval between the two of you, a bit of a battle, a bit of a ill feeling, and I think that that was in the past, and I think that feeling is still underway, because we've got the 10 as your overall card, basically as your clarifying card. But then look, we've got the Two of Wands here, we've got the Two of Wands, the Two of Swords here, we've got the Two of Wands here in your present, but it's the reverse. Look at this, looking at what was, thinking about what was, as the sun sets, thinking about what was, and maybe looking at it through rose tinted glasses, doing that nostalgia visit, where again you're looking back at the things and thinking, wow, you know, things were better than they were, and things blah 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 blah. That's what we tend to do. So again, I think here we've got the situation where it feels like this energy was in the past, it ended up in arguments. You've been thinking recently about this connection, and about how it's made you feel more than anything else, and I think it's really affecting you. I get the impression that maybe you were in the wrong in some way with this. So I don't know quite kind of what happened, but it does really feel like there's a regret here for you, because we've got the two. However, you were asking a very specific question about what Sanika's current feelings are, so it could be that Sanika is feeling that regret, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're wanting you to make contact. Reason I'm saying that is because this is the feeling moving forward, and we've got the Three of Wands, and again, very distinctly, look, argument, face forward. The feelings at the moment in the background, the feelings moving forward, back to us, back to us. It feels like you have been, there's a I don't know whether you'll get the reference, but there's a reference that the dragons are giving me from the Mighty Boosh, where basically you get cast out by literally having a character turn their back on you, and once that happens, that's it done. And it feels very much like these two characters have turned their back on you. Now the 2 and the 3 of Wands, this is a really interesting journey, because it feels very much like this energy is from the separation moment, from when things went wrong, and this feeling of, oh, you know, really uncertainty and should I contact, but it's because you're thinking, how can I put it, like, damn it, I missed out here. I wish that things went right. You know, I messed up. It's very much a mea culpa type feeling. And then we get to the 3, and the 3 is talking about, look at this. We've got these wands. We've got this fiery energy, this knowledge. We've got the yin and the yang here. This wand has been carved and the flames from within are coming through. So this knowledge is here, but we are moving into this barren element here. This way round, look, you've got this warm element back in the background. Here we've got this, look, this barren energy. This is a very distant, very not a very pleasant environment to find yourself in, and this is what is coming up when you're talking about that, you know, how this person feels. I don't think you're ever going to be able to get back what happened before things went wrong. I really don't. It feels like there's a it feels like there's like it's gone. I don't know how else to put it. It feels like the energy is gone. There's still a lot of animosity here, a lot of ill feeling, a lot of genuine complaint and genuine like negativity around, genuine yeah, just ill feeling, and I don't think that's going to get resolved anytime soon. So when you're asking no contact, yeah, my advice would be just give as much space as possible, like move on with your life, allow Sanika, sorry, to move on with theirs, and just kind of let it go, really, is what I would say, because it really doesn't feel like there's anything. It feels like the embers of the fire have burnt out and they've all been extinguished. There's no embers here for you to breathe on and extend. There's no, you know, you haven't got a little tiny spark of something that you can go with a little bit of kindling and it bursts back into flame. It's gone. It's over. And I think that is something that you will have to move on from, my darling. And yeah, so that would be the advice, is to move on and just allow them to get on with their lives, allow Seneca to get on with her life, and Seneca, and you to move on with yours, Anika. And I think that's that's very much what the cards are saying today. And thank you for that. And again, sorry, it's probably not the information, the answer that you wanted, but it is the answer that the cards are giving me, and that is all I can do, is to pass that on. But thank you very much for your reading today. Right, let me have a look then. So the last reading I'm going to get to is Risha. So Risha, my darling, this is your question coming up. What is the current energy of Aniket Shukla? So then let's have a look. So what does Aniket Shukla feel? Dragons, this is a question for Risha. Risha would like to know, what's the current energy of Aniket Shukla towards Risha? So this is the last question, everybody. I will get to this as soon as I can. So then, what is the energy, the current energy of Aniket Shukla towards Risha? Oh, we've had a card drop. It's the Hangman. Oh, right. Okay. So there is, I'm wanting to say it was coming up this way rather than this way. My feeling is that this was the right way, because I saw the dark blue of the corner. I actually thought it was a different card. I saw the dark blue first, so my gut instinct is that it was coming up this way. It literally landed on its side like that. So if it's this way up, the Hangman is talking about sacrifice, but was that sacrifice worth it? Sometimes we have to sacrifice. We have to wait for the knowledge. We have to wait and pause and give it time, give events time for them to pan out. Let me just do your drop. Hang on a second. I've got doggos in the other room. So, right, we've got your drop. My dogs are being triggered by something. I don't know what, but let's have a quick look for you, Risha. So we've got here the Seven of Pentacles coming up in your past position. So look at this. This tree, this came up recently as well in a reading, I think, this week. So this is talking about, look, this tree is dying off. Things have not gone well this year for this crop. This tree is supposed to be in full bloom, growing these golden orbs and this money and opportunity and all of this, but it's died off. It's died off. And sometimes, no matter what you do, the only thing you can do, no matter how many times you water it and feed it, a plant just dies because it isn't sustainable in the position or whatever. And all you can do is take your spade and go and dig it up and stick it on the compost pile. You know what I mean? So this is really coming up and saying, although it's financially related, I think this is talking about, for me, this is talking about that element of when again, let it go. Sometimes when things are gone, it's time to dig it up and move on. And that's the only thing you can do, is to literally dig up that plant, stick it on the compost heap and start over with something else. Now in the present position, it would suggest that, again, we've got the Fool. The Fool is talking about moving on. So again, you're asking whether what Aniket Shukla feels towards you. I think it's time to move on. The Fool is starting a journey. We had the Fool come up in a reading earlier, but it came up this way round. So this way round, it's talking about perhaps walking blindly into a situation, because like that's literally what tends to happen with the Fool. But we've got this new journey, and this journey that you're going on, but it's unwanted, which means for me this is like moving on is not something that you want to do. It's not something that you want to admit, that actually the energy that you've sacrificed here with the Hangman. Hang on a second, I just need to take a swig of drink. Hang on. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Hang on. Sorry, I've got a tickly cough right now. But the energy that you've expanded with the Hangman, this sacrifice, it's like sometimes you just got to cut your losses and run, because it does feel like you're having to start a new journey in terms of this relationship. It's like you just have to start over. I don't think that, again, it doesn't feel very repairable. When we're looking at the future position, we got the Five of Swords. Again, swords is trouble and strife. Swords are issues. I think there are issues here that you can literally see. Look, this is almost like, if this is a personal relationship between the two of you, it almost feels like this person here is stood there going, but no, look, but don't walk off. Listen, but you don't understand. Like, but please just let me finish. Like, I want to explain what I did. I know I was wrong. I'm sorry. And this person's like, nope, sod it. Have your bloody swords. I've had enough. I'm buggering off. Like, nope, I'm not interested in fighting you anymore. There's two swords on the ground. Don't want to fight you anymore. Don't want to have this conversation. I'm done. I'm through. I've had enough. I am out of here. And that's the energy this card is giving. Not that there's a battle going on, not that there's this big fight going on, not that there's a victor, but like literally it's like, oh, but hang on, but please let me, like, you don't understand. I'm sorry. It's like, no, you've done this for the last time, and this person is walking away. So that is basically the energy that is coming up. So I think the sacrifice, the waiting, the time that has been spent is not even important right now. It's like, that's fine. That was last week. You can't do anything about that. But it's done. And I think very much it's like, it's your question is, what is Aniket's current energy towards you? The current energy is that they've moved on, my darling. Again, I'm so sorry. This is not the readings that I'm sure you were hoping for. But again, it's the only readings that I can give you is from what the cards are giving me. And with that, my darling, I'm going to say again, thank you very much for your question. And that is going to be your reading for today. So thank you ever so much. And yes, thank you, everybody. I am now going to head off because I do have an appointment at 3 o'clock in less than an hour. So I have to get myself ready and go off for that. So thank you, everybody, for joining me today. If you are here on the live stream, Thank you so much for being here. If you've commented, it means you've subscribed. Thank you for being a subscriber. Much love to you. If you're here on the replay crew, my live streams get a ridiculous amount of replays on the replay crew. So thank you so much. If you are part of the replay crew, much, 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 much love. There we go. Where is it there? Much love to you as well. Thank you so much for being part of our, excuse me, for being part of our community here on Beyond Authentic Witchcraft. We are going to be doing lots of more streams. I will be streaming live. Don't forget, Sunday evening, 6 p.m. for channel members. A get ready with me. Behind the scenes, we'll have a little chitty chatty. We'll have a coffee together. I'll put my face mask on, do my makeup on stream. Hopefully my nails will look a lot better than this. But we'll be doing all of that on Sunday evening, 6 p.m. for channel members. Then at 7 p.m. we'll be on this channel doing more live psychic readings. So that'll be some oracle cards, some tarot cards. I might even, as I keep threatening to find the pendulum, I might even get the pendulum out. And even if I can't find my pendulum cloth, then I can always do an ad hoc with a pendulum board. We can always sort something out. But that is going to be it from today, everybody. Thank you so much. Apologies if you asked questions and didn't get the readings in. Unfortunately, we're out of time. Again, do please come and join us again on Sunday. Ask your questions and I will try and get to you as soon as I can. But that is going to be it for today, everybody. Thank you so much to the moderators. Thank you to Ed. Thank you to Patricia. Thank you to Holland. Thank you so much. And yeah, that is going to be it. I will see you all very soon. I've got to head off now. So thank you, everybody. I will see you on another stream. And again, thank you very much for being here. And as we always say, stay you, stay true, stay authentic, keep practicing, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.